Ride. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing, man? Get the f off my bike.
Sorry, man. Psych. Come on, guys, get real. So here she is, the 2017 Yamaha FZ09. It's going to take me a long time not to say FJ because of the FJR. Oh, love it. Absolutely beautiful. I will pick this up after I show you the buying experience. Hey guys, welcome back again from Tampa Bay on this beautiful afternoon. I'm up to buy the bike. Well, hopefully at least get one on the way. There still isn't any available in exactly what I want in the area, so I know I'm gonna have to wait a little bit, but I'm tired of waiting. There's been a recall. Since you've already seen the opening of this video, I'm going to be filming this out of sequence. You already know what I got. But the problem is, about a month ago, a recall started from a nut where they misapplied some thread locker, and it had to do with the steering, so it was a safety recall. And we know those take time to go through. Before it actually went through, there was a safety hold, which unfortunately meant that all new stock coming in and sitting on showrooms could not be sold. So whatever was in stock around here has been just sitting, and actually still hasn't been released, because the dealers in this area are just now able to order the replacement parts. They've been taking care of customers that already have delivered bikes, and it's been a pretty good recall because it affected multiple years and multiple models. So they're getting the new parts out. It's a cheap, easy fix, but they just got around to being shipped. So I've had a bit of a wait on this project. I would have liked to have been rolling a good month ago. The garage is full of add-on parts and replacement parts, so I can't wait to get going on those. Finally getting some new roads in this neighborhood here. They've needed it for a long time. They're in really bad shape from the last round of flooding. Just tore up all the asphalt. This side, they redid that about a week after it receded. I'll like it because when the people are turning onto the roads from this one, they pretty much come to a stop because the roads are so torn up right at the intersections. So it should help traffic flow. But my first stop this morning is at the bank. Grab some cash. Cash is king when you're buying a toy. Never finance a motorcycle. Never, ever finance a motorcycle. Oh, that is just my best advice. Trust me. Bad idea. It's a toy. Pay cash. If you don't have it, save up. Pretend you have a motorcycle loan for a couple years and save. You'll spend a hell of a lot less. You'll get it for a hell of a lot better price. You have all the leverage in the world when you're buying it. When you don't, when you have to finance and you make them work and you have a lot more paperwork and they're not making as much in the end and they're paying more in fees, they don't care that much. You're just a prospect walking in the door. You walk in with a wad of cash, or a cashier's check. I'm getting actual cash because I don't know exactly what dealer I'm going to get it from. I'm going to shop around. Whoever gives me the best deal gets the business. You're the boss. Okay, cash in hand. Now to get some gas. I've been flashing on reserve for a while here. Gas prices have gone way up in the last couple weeks here. Over 30 cents in my area. When I went up to the Barber Museum, it was down about 35 cents from Florida. I was paying $2.09 in Alabama, and not too much more in Georgia. And then cross the line, bam, from Georgia to Florida, over 20 cents more. Surprisingly, Sam's has a really good deal on gas today. Usually they're about the same. They've been the same as everybody else for years, but they're 13 cents cheaper today. $2.36. It's $2.49 down the street. One thing I will miss on the new bike, even though it gets a little bit better mileage, it takes premium. I'm used to the regular now because all our vehicles take regular. And it's about a 60-cent difference here. Sam's here, it's 50 cents. That's a good jump. I remember when it was 20 cents between regular and premium back in the day. Okay, on to dealer number 1. I'll hit the closest one here first. Doesn't make a difference where I buy it from, but it's most convenient for the wife having to drive me up to pick it up whenever it comes in. So we'll give them a shot. Doesn't matter to me at all. I'm not going to use them for any kind of service work past the initial sale. Failing this one, I don't even know if they can order it. I really don't. It's a small, not really a franchise. It's more of a mom and pop dealer. It's gone through different owners and names. But this is where I bought my last FJR from. Well, this one, current one. So we'll give them a shot. Now, failing that, I'll go down 19 a little bit to Cycle Springs. That's where I bought the FJR before this. Failing that, I'll hit up Barney's of St. Pete. Failing that, there's 2 more in Tampa. We are of no shortage of Yamaha dealers. So one more point of leverage that you can have when you're buying a motorcycle, at least in cash, although a little bit of this helps if you're still financing, is if you plan to purchase any additional parts at the time of the purchase. Usually they'll give you a certain percentage off, good for that day or maybe a few days after the sale. And if you buy the OEM accessories for whatever your bike is, you can roll it into your financing. Of course, you're not getting any kind of significant discount if you finance the part. Sometimes none at all. They'll treat it like they're doing you a favor by allowing you to roll it in. And that is nice. You know, if you don't have the cash and if you want to, say, put on a full exhaust system, that's an extra $1,000. That's a good chunk of change, and it's nice to be able to roll that in if you want it right away for the bike. But the best solution is to have enough cash on hand to not only buy the bike, but whatever additional parts, because then you can say, hey, you know, if you give me a great deal on this bike and we do it, I'm also going to give you this extra sale on these parts. And they make a lot more money on the part sales, so that's valuable to them. Even if they throw you a 10, 15, or 20 would be an excellent percentage off that day. Even if they do that, they're making a ton of bank on those parts. So that's basically free money for them. And that's leverage when you're trying to get them to give you the deal on the bike. Because they know that wherever you buy the bike from, that's where you're buying those parts from. So it gives them a little bit more padding room. They could maybe give you a little bit more discount off the bike, knowing that they're going to still make some in the back end on those parts. It also really helps, I guess this will kind of turn into a tips on buying a bike video. It also really helps to know, generally at least, what the markup is, what the margin is on the particular bike you're buying. You can gauge that a number of ways. If it's a brand new model, like they just introduced it, well, you're kind of screwed there. You can take an educated guess based on similar models. However, brand new models typically aren't going to have a large markup like pre-existings. Because when a new model comes out from a factory, they have a lot of expenses to pay for, a lot of R&D, a lot of tool and die costs, and they have to get it into the market and start selling. So, I mean, it's a balancing game for the manufacturers, but the bottom line is typically there aren't the big margins on a brand new model like there are on used ones. Or not used ones, I mean ones that have been out for a number of years. Now in this case, this isn't a brand new model, it's just a refresh. All the major parts are the same powertrain. So the major R&D costs are already being somewhat covered. And I know that last year's models are down about $1,600 from MSRP. And they're still making money at that point. So they have at least $2,000, probably closer to $2,500 in markup on this particular model. So that gives you the real good ballpark for how much padding they've got. That does not mean that you're getting that off MSRP, not even close. They're a business. Their entire point is to make money. That's why they exist. They need to make money on every sale. But there's a middle ground. If I can get this for $700 or $800 off, that's an excellent deal. It's also a hot model, so they don't have a lot of incentive to deal on it. 2 more tips. Now this won't help me today, but if you're looking at a model that is physically on a showroom floor, timing does play in. You want to go towards the end of the month. I happen to be at the end of the month now, but I know it's not in stock, so that's not going to make a difference. And another big tip, doing demo rides is more beneficial than just finding a bike. When you sign up for the demo ride and you give them your email and your contact information, sometimes it's very useful because usually a few weeks or a couple months after that demo ride, especially if you're doing it early in the year, you'll probably get some incentives in your email. And in my case, I just happened to get one from Yamaha that if I buy a bike before June, so I've got a couple months, I get a free 2-year extended yes warranty. So that is absolutely fantastic. And I just blindly passed right by the dealer, and I'm sitting here looking for the dealer too. Wow, I have never done that. U-turn! I'm a doofy. I tell you, this is why multitasking is such a myth. I don't multitask. When I'm doing these vlogs and I'm talking and I'm trying to do something else, it just doesn't happen. That's why you don't text and drive, man. Ever. If it's legal, do it at a stoplight. Some states, you can't even do that. Just don't do it while you're rolling. Your brain does not multitask, trust me. I don't care how good you think you do it, you don't. It's just being human. This is a real big slingshot dealer. Pretty much the only one in the area. At that point, man, just get a car. Well, let's see what kind of deal we can get. Wish me luck. Well, so far this is a bust. Been standing around for 10 minutes, looking at the new inventory, and no one's even approached me. Guess they don't want to do very many sales today. Man, I'll tell you what, this guy's only shot at making this sale is to get me back on the phone and say, yes sir, come on back, you got a deal, within about the next 10 minutes before I get closer to this dealer. I can't believe all the mistakes they made. And they broke cardinal rule number 1. Never let the customer walk out the door. The odds of closing the sale once that happens, for whatever the reason, goes down to almost nothing. Well, good news. Just got the phone call and he said, let's do it. He'll find one in the next few days. So he just wants a little deposit and I'm turning around. He caught me in about 10 minutes from the next dealer. That's good enough for me. Okay, done deal. Bike is paid for, and it's going to be probably a week before it gets here. I don't know if the recall work is going to be done before or after, so I'm not counting on that coming in real quick. Got a ton of add-on parts ordered, everything Yamaha I ordered here through the dealer, and the discount worked out to about 23% off retail. I got $230 some off what I wanted, which was not everything they offer, but good number of bits, and I'll have videos on all of that, how to do the kind of stuff to install it coming up. So now it's just a waiting game. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya. So a breakdown on the bike price, and this will clearly, hopefully, illustrate how important cash is to buying a bike. Okay, retail on the bike, MSRP, and what many of them are selling for is $89.95. So call it $9 grand. That's retail. Their total out the door price with tax, title, and an $800 dealer fee, which isn't too far out of the league for what a lot of dealers are charging. 5 to 8 is about the norm. They wanted $10,900. Tax here is 7%, as is most of Florida. Title and registration, those three are going to be your hard costs. It is what it is. A little bit fluctuates based on the bike price, but those are hard costs. Can't get around that. So all you really have to bargain with are the dealer fees and the bike base price. Now I got that from $10,900 down to $9,150 just because I had cash, pure and simple. If you are financing a bike, you're not going to pay anywhere near that $9,100 price, not even close. Now I don't expect anyone to be actually paying the $10,900, but $500 off that would be an extraordinary bargain if you're financing. You are going to pay a lot of dealer fees, and you aren't going to get that much off the price of the bike. They don't have the incentive. They're doing a lot more work, and they know that they have the advantage. You are dependent on them to find you financing it, unless you come in with a pre-approved loan. That's just as good as cash. But that is not the norm. That is not how the usual motorcycle customer, and those of you that are working in a dealer know everything I'm saying is 100% accurate. That's not the case. Most people come in and, you know, they're not buying experts. They get taken for a lot more than they should be. That's just the bottom line. So again, save up, get the cash, come pre-approved, do anything you can to avoid putting that burden on the dealer, and you are the boss of your own sale. So I'm getting the garage ready here. The bike is ready. The recall parts are on. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. Bulk of the parts that I was waiting on from Yamaha just came into the dealer, so I'm going to pick those up tomorrow also. The only thing still missing is the quick shifter, which is on company-wide back order for the next month and a half, so no big deal there. That's just a fun little add-on item. Got a ton of stuff here already. I've got the new Yoshi pipes ready to go on, full exhaust system. I've got, I'm also waiting on LED blinkers. I ordered Yamaha blinkers, had to get them from overseas. There are a bunch of parts, like true to Yamaha fashion. Tons of the add-on parts aren't available in the US. They've mix and matched what's available for the bike in different countries. I got stuff coming from Australia, stuff coming from England, stuff here. What are you going to do? Anyway, tons of videos planned for everything to go on, and I can't wait to get it here tomorrow. Start break-in. I'm going to go down in about 2 weeks. I'm going to be the first one to get the ECU flash, going down for a full dyno day, and he's going to make his tuning profiles, drawing a blank there, off my bike. So it'll be available to everyone else with the 17s. So that'll be really cool. Tons of stuff planned. Can't wait for the morning. Yee! So I just got home, just babied it back from the dealer. It's just a few miles. Had 0 miles on the clock. Went over it with a fine-tooth comb. Only one tiny little problem, and it's not even worth doing anything about, or the time it would take to get it replaced or whatever. There's just a tiny scratch on the flats here where they took this mirror off. It's almost like a coating on this black painted or colored nut. It's not quite an anodization, but they had to do the recall on it, which involved completely taking off the handlebar assemblies and replacing the 2 mounting blocks. So they did have to take the mirrors off to do that, and well, they roughed that one up. But I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of touch up on it. It'll be right as rain. Everything else is absolutely flawless. glad to see it in great condition. Now, I am going to spend the day doing some very first things. Every bike from the factory has quirks. This is no exception. The FJR certainly had some. This one, its quirk is the chain tension. It is notoriously too tight from the factory. Even the book spec on it is ridiculously tight, like 0.15 inches. It's crazy. This has delivered barely half an inch of travel on the side stand. Way too tight. All that's going to do is stretch your chain and eat up your sprockets, especially the front one. So I'm going to reset it. When you get a bike like this, do your research. Go online. There's always going to be forums and groups. In this case, people for years have been saying, yep, it's way too tight. Run it with an inch of travel on the side stand. So that's what I'll set it to, and that will work just fine. Other important reasons to baby it after you pick it up. Number one, the engine's brand new, of course, and it needs to be broken in. Now, the break-in procedures, you can never go wrong by going by the book. That is the easiest, most baby-like break-in procedure out there. Very low RPMs, do it in stages, never hold a constant throttle position, don't lug the engine. They want you to really, really take it easy. Other people have very differing opinions on break-in procedures. Some are ride it like you stole it. I'm pretty much in between. The most important thing, in my opinion, is don't hold it at a constant throttle position. Most of the point of a break-in procedure for an engine is to seat the rings against the cylinder walls to get a great seal for long time power and longevity. So I'm not going to super baby it, but I'm certainly not going to give it full throttle pulls and constant revs on the freeway or anything like that until 600 miles. Do the first oil change, go over it again with a fine-tooth comb, and call it good. Other first things you want to do right away, and especially not to go balls to the walls right off the showroom floor, you don't know what the tire pressures are set at. Sometimes they can be low, and that can be not only dangerous, but bad for the tire life. One of the FJR's quirks was from the book spec, they want you to run 36 PSI, which is insanely low. And that has also changed over the years, depending on the model year of the FJR. I run at 40, much, much better. So I need to check these. Don't know what they're at. Another reason, well, human error. When there is a human involved, there is likely to be error involved. When I got the FJR, they didn't bother to tighten the pinch bolts on the front axle. That was hand tight. It was absolutely terrible. So I'm going to go over all the important fasteners of this. Make sure everything is actually tight. Taking off the butt ugly stickers. On this one, I only see one. So that's not too bad. Some bikes will be plastered. It looks like a freaking computer from Walmart with all the obnoxious decals and warnings and stuff along the side and everything. Tip, use a hair dryer on high or a heat gun on low. Very carefully if you're using a heat gun. Get this thing really nice and hot. Use a plastic spudger if you have it, or something soft. Do not ever, ever, ever use anything metal to get under here. A fingernail can work in a pinch, but a plastic spudger, if you have one, a lot of people that do computer work or phone work are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't try to use a plastic spatula for spackling or anything like that. Those can often have very sharp edges on the burrs. So give it time, heat it up. I'll show you how I do it. And I don't even think I've done a video on that. I guess I can. I know I did it on the FJR, but I don't think I videoed it. So it's not a big deal. But man, it makes a bike look a whole lot better. I have a ton of parts that I'm going to put on right away. I've got the new comfort seat in there. What I'm going to do though is get some seat time on the stock seat. I'm going to go through break-in on the stock seat, and then I'll do a real good comparison to the Yamaha comfort seat so I can give a nice video on just that, because there's not a lot of info about that. It's very new, obviously. It's brand new just for the 2017, and hardly anybody has it yet. But it's a great design. I'll show it to you when I put it on. It gives you that hump and that buffer for your butt. I really dig the design. I think it looks great, and it is quite comfortable. So I'm anxious to put that on. This front end, I think it's ugly as hell. I really do. Especially these exposed stainless bolts. I think if they were black, that would make it a lot better, just that alone. But I think it looks like a praying mantis. It looks like it's missing something. And what it's missing is the sport screen, which is basically a scrim to complete the look and just give you a little cover here and make it really look more like the FZ10 or the MT10 around the world. it just completes it. So I think they basically make you spend an extra $100+ just so your bike doesn't look ugly. It's stupid, but yeah. Replacing the controls right away. There is no adjustment on this clutch lever. Very basic. It's got a really nice, easy pull, but it's a little too far. I don't have super long fingers. I got big hands, but they're sausage fingers. And it's just, when I'm on the bike, I tend to use 3 fingers on the clutch, and yes, that's laundry. It's just a little too far. I like it really on the end flats of my fingers, and this is just on the tips. I don't care for it. So new controls are going on right away, and I'll talk about those and all the options and decisions I made on that as I do every mod that I'm going to do to it. And I'm putting on the full exhaust right away. Number one, because I want the gaskets to be as fresh as possible. You can reuse the exhaust gaskets if they're new. There's no problem with that whatsoever. And this bike has only got 20 minutes on it. They're still brand new. So I have no problem doing that. But if you've got hours and hours on your exhaust, you've got to put new gaskets on if you ever take your pipes off. So I don't want to even run the stock exhaust. I have no interest in it whatsoever. Frankly, it wouldn't have sold me on the bike if it didn't have the Yoshi exhaust on it, because the sound off of this stock, it's okay. It's absolutely nothing special. So it is what it is. But the Yoshi exhaust, holy crap, love it. Hair stands up. The Akrapovich also, or Akrapovich, sorry, is another hair-raising nice sound, but the Yoshi is a lot cheaper. There's other differences. I'll talk about that in the pipe video. Other than that, my LEDs are coming in later today via UPS, so I'm excited about that. The quick shifter is still back ordered. It just got pushed back again to the end of June, so I don't know when that's going to be in. No big deal. Not needing it whatsoever. I need to get another little key fob. I need to look online and see if I can get another one that's compatible with my old mini key fob here, because I love this thing. But I'll get a contrasting color so I don't have 2 blue ones. I think that is about it. Oh, this plate thing. I'll talk about this a little later, but I think I'm just going to remove these reflectors here, and I think that'll greatly improve the looks for me, enough where I wouldn't feel like doing anything else with it. We'll see. It's free. It's worth trying. So that's that. Love it. Beautiful ride coming just home here. It is so different than the FJR. It's exactly what I was looking for. A very contrasting ride, but ticking all my boxes. If you watched my video the other week about what kind of bike I'm looking for, it just ticked all my boxes. So that's that. Would have also greatly loved the BMW R9T, another absolutely fantastic bike. However, adding everything up, doing everything to the BMW like I am doing to this, it was be double the price, about another $9,000. Frankly, I can't justify that. There is no performance or value there to justify that difference in price. Simply isn't. So, there it is. Stay tuned for many more videos to come.